in unison this time.
I did it. I knew you were going to say hi, so I was like, hi.
Actually, last week I said hello and you said hi.
I know.
Okay.
We're
on the same page.
Yeah.
Though.
Frequency.
Our intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to In-Laws in Crime.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Megan.
And
this is In-Laws in Crime.
And if you're watching us, you can see we've changed locations.
Changed positions today.
Yeah.
We wanted to be more comfy cozy, and since it's the fall season, and we thought being on the couch. So usually you're facing the other way because that fireplace is behind you now. So
yeah. So now you're looking
you're
back.
Flipped.
Yeah. You're back at the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But anyways, welcome. We just kicked our father-in-law out of his house, out of the lake house.
We love you so much, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for leaving. But I'm excited because today's Ashley's case.
Yes.
Yes. But we're on a journey because we're going to film 2 episodes today. So in just a second after this, it'll be my case. So we're trying to have a little cache of episodes in our storage. So
yeah. In the event one of us gets sick or...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
In the event of one of our deaths.
Something. Well, if I die, you can cover it on the podcast.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, you can.
I will. You have my word.
Okay. So I'm going to jump in because this one...
Is this going to be a long one?
Okay. To be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to be very long because he was caught quickly. And so he didn't have very many victims. But...
a lot of details.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
Man. Oh, Crime Corner.
Oh.
The only thing I have, which was pretty sad, a girl here locally around Tyler, she's 23, got attacked and killed by either her pit bull or somebody else's pit bull.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't know details, but one of my friends sent me the link to it, and that was insane. And then we had the huge fire, which I don't think that wasn't a crime. I think it was a horrible accident. But we had a huge fire out by Tyler Pound's airport.
Yeah. It was a chemical, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the only 2. And no corrections yet.
No corrections.
That anybody has pointed out. So.
Okay.
Okay, now we can jump in.
Okay, I'm jumping in.
I'm excited.
And I'm taking us back to the 90s.
90s again.
Where all the crime around here was happening.
Yes, my goodness.
I know. Okay. It's December 13th, 1990 in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Homicide detective Stan McNear is woken up from the dead of sleep to the report of a body of a woman found in a residential area of Dallas known as Cotton Valley. Oh, man. So when Detective McNear arrives on scene, he notices the body of a nude woman is just literally like laid out in a residential like community street.
Oh, crap.
And yeah.
What a horrible thing to...
You're right. That's the start of the morning.
Yeah.
So she looks to be in her 30s. And McNear's like, man, like, unfortunately, murder in the 90s wasn't uncommon.
No, apparently not.
But he's like, man, this scene looks weird. And it was because she had been posed. And so I know. So she's on the ground or on the street and her arms had been like spread out like this.
Oh, no.
And her legs had been spread out. And her shirt had been pushed up to expose her top and she had nothing on the bottom.
Oh, no.
And then they see she has 1 bullet wound to the head.
Oh,
so they're like, okay, we assume that this is what killed her. But one of the officers did recognize her as Mary Pratt. And Mary Pratt was a local sex worker in the Oak Cliff area of Dallas.
Oh, no.
Yes. So, yeah. And she was indeed in her early 30s.
Okay.
So John Matthews and Regina Smith are both rookie cops that work this Oak Cliff area. Mm-hmm. And they both knew Mary.
Oak Cliff is a very sketchy area.
It is. I don't think I don't know how safe it is today.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's safer now than it was in the 90s, but I know it's still not probably.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been in a long time, so I really shouldn't say. But yes, it's been known to be a, high crime area for a while. Mm-hmm. So so they were really upset because John and Regina knew this girl because they worked the streets and they, keep an eye on
they try
the sex workers.
Yeah.
So
they should.
Right. So Mary's body is taken to the examiner's office for a full evaluation. And the examiner, they notate everything from like hair length and color, piercings, tattoos, scars, eye color. They notate all of these things. So as the examiner's going through, they see from the bullet wound in her head, they're like, man, this shot was at close range.
Oh, man.
And so they're like, feel like Mary probably knew her killer, right? To be able to allow that person to get that close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as they're going through and notating everything about Mary's body, they open her eyelids to notate her eye color. And the examiner's like, oh, okay, I'm not seeing her eyes. And so I found that when you have blunt force trauma to the head, it is not uncommon for your eyeballs to fall back into your head. So they're like, okay, I just need to look a little deeper for the eyes. So she's like, the examiner goes in and she's like looking and she notices that both of her eyeballs had actually been cut out with surgical precision.
Oh, was not. Well,
yeah. And so the examiner also explains that like,
that's even my eyes water.
I know, even though the eyeballs are missing, like your eyelid maintains its shape.
Okay.
So there's no outside indication that her eyeballs wouldn't be there.
Yeah. So yes. So when I knew you were covering the eyeball killer. And so maybe that was spoiler. But
thanks, Megan.
But I wasn't thinking.
Didn't see that coming?
No. And it's funny you say that about the eyelids is because I grew up on a ranch and we had horses, and one of our horses, or maybe I think two, had to have an eye removed because of cancer. But you had to put a marble in their eyeball to keep their eyelid shape. Oh. So humans don't need that, I guess.
Well, I guess as quickly as they're finding them, maybe they don't.
Okay.
So, because she was found pretty quickly, she didn't stay on the streets long, and thank goodness, because if the morning had come, right, and you're walking your children to school, right, exactly. Ooh. Yeah. So the blunt force trauma can cause that, but okay. I don't know.
But they find no eyeballs in there.
So they're like, oh my gosh, what a weird thing. But they think hopefully this is just a one-off, right? So John and Regina hit the streets and they start talking to all the girls and their managers, if you will.
Okay.
So, and they're like trying to figure out like, and they're notating everything that they can possibly find to try to help get a suspect, because unfortunately there was nothing on Mary Pratt's body that would lead them to her killer. No evidence at all. So as they're, in the talking to all the sex workers, can you cut that out? So as they're talking to all the sex workers, they're approached by one of the known sex workers named Veronica Rodriguez. And they notice immediately that Veronica is covered in mud and she has scratches on her. She even has like mud caked in her hair and everything. And they're like, Veronica? They're like, what you been doing, girl? Girl, what happened? And so she tells them, she goes on to explain that she says last night with Mary, she was doing a double trick. 2 girls, 1 guy. If you don't know.
Alrighty.
And she said then the trick attacked them. And she took off running. But as she took off running, she saw Mary was on her knees and saw her get shot in the head.
Oh, crap.
So Veronica takes off, and whoever the killer is that shoots Mary starts screaming after and chasing after Veronica, saying that he's going to kill her, and then shoots 1 shot that luckily misses Veronica. And she's able to get to a neighbor's house to call for help. So unfortunately,
she called the cops for help?
And I don't think she probably called the police, but whoever she had come help pick her up, be it her manager or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, Veronica, thank you. Unfortunately for her, she had been strung out on drugs at the time and couldn't tell them any description about the killer that had picked them up. So like, okay, they made note of her story, but they went on with their investigation. Okay, so that was December 1990.
Okay.
So 2 months after Mary was murdered, homicide detective Stan McNear is called again to another nude body found in another residential area.
Oh.
Okay. So like Mary, the woman was located in the Cotton Valley area. She was partially nude and was put on display, again, arms and legs spread out, her shirt pulled up to expose her top. But this girl had been shot multiple times in the torso and then once in the head.
Oh.
Yes. So
they're laying on their backs.
They're on their backs. Okay. So everything is up and in
view.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they send her body to the medical examiner's office. And again, they see her eyes had been removed with surgical precision. And so then they start comparing notes because they just had Mary that came in, right? 2 months prior. So they start comparing notes. And they noted that the bodies were only located 8 blocks apart.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So really close.
Right. So, and then they started thinking about, okay, like, so the act of removing the eyes takes time.
Yeah.
Like,
God, that's what I'm thinking this whole time. Like, for you to sit there and cut their eyeballs out.
Yes. It takes time. And I don't know, to me, it's like so personal, but we see this, right, with other serial killers that they take trophies.
Yeah.
You know, so that they can relive the, you know,
whatever it may be, like clothing,
right, a house key,
driver's licenses,
right, jewelry. They keep, So, and they're noticing that how precise they were in the cuts because there's no cut or anything around the eye, so there wasn't any slip up. Like whoever was doing this knew
how to
their
do
way
that.
Around the eye, right?
Ew.
So. Unfortunately, we didn't know who this girl was, so they were able to send fingerprints off, and they got a hit. And it ends up that this girl is 27-year-old Susan Peterson, who is also a sex worker in the Oak Cliff area. Okay,
so now trend there.
Yes, there's a trend. So our local PD, John and Regina, are devastated. Another girl from their streets has been murdered.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we have got to like hit the streets hard and try to figure out what's going on. And this is really sad. Regina tells the story that she actually had run into Susan the day before.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Susan ran up to her and was like, Regina, you're going to be so proud of me. She's like, I'm clean and I'm getting married.
Oh.
Yeah. So she had like put her life together.
And see, that's another thing too that I've seen, which you may go into this a little bit, is typically like cops and stuff that work areas that have sex workers and stuff. The cops try and build relationships with those sex workers.
They do.
Yeah. And it's for multiple different reasons because one is because they build those relationships because they know the gossip. They know everything.
They know
about
the word
everything.
on the street.
Yeah. And then they also want to keep an eye out for them and their safety. So they need to know like where they're, you know, there's a multitude of reasons, but
yeah,
I'm sure that devastated her.
Yeah, and she was so happy because what more do you want than for somebody to get clean and live the life that they deserve?
Right.
So, and the last thing Susan says to Regina is, "I hope you find who killed Mary." And then the next day, Susan's body was found. I know. So they're like, so now local officers and detectives are like, okay, we've got to reach out to the FBI.
Right.
Something's going on here. So they reach out and they're like, hey, this is what we've got going on. Can you dig into your archives and see if this is, you know, maybe somebody that migrated in from another area, somebody else having the same issue.
Right.
And they check all databases and they get nothing. So our little eyeball guy is brand new to the game. Yes.
To the twisted, effed up game.
Yes. Right. Right. So, they can't find anything. So they believe that I'm sorry. sorry. Okay, so the FBI profiling unit starts helping detectives and local PD build a profile of the killer.
Okay.
So they believe that the entire goal of killing these young women was just to get to their eyes. That's what they believe. Yes. And again, like I said, because it allows them to kind of like relive that event over and over.
Yeah.
They believe that they're looking for someone local, someone perhaps maybe a doctor or that type of profession that has knowledge of the eyes.
Has to be.
It has to be. And that they feel like this is somebody that's well known in the community. He's probably trusted, and that he's going to know the areas. He's going to know the girls that he's
I was just about
approaching.
to say, so the girls probably know him.
He knows the dark alleys and the trades and what's going on at night. So they believe that their profile, or the profiler believed that the killer most likely built a very normal looking life around himself.
Yeah.
So probably had a family and probably had a normal job, but they do say that they feel like the killer probably has a job that excuses him away from the home at odd hours of the night. So like when the girls are working the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler PD, or excuse me,
not Tyler PD,
Dallas PD. They put officers on the streets. They have them posing as sex workers trying to get picked up. They have them on street corners taking pictures of suspicious looking vehicles and license plates, and they're working hard trying to get like what's going on. And John and Regina, again, they're like hitting up all the sex workers and their managers, pushing hard for information. And they're notating everything, but nothing leads to a suspect at all. I know. So then, we're a month later in March 1991.
Okay.
So John and Regina are out and they see Veronica Rodriguez, and she's with a fella in the car. And so they pull him over.
And Veronica's the one that escaped.
Veronica's the one that had the wild story.
She was too strung out to even remember what the guy looked like.
To give too many details. Right.
Okay. Got it.
So they pull Veronica over, and she starts pleading with John and Regina to not arrest the guy that she's with, that this is the man that rescued her the other night, or like a month back, or a couple months back. Mm-hmm. So she's like, this is the man that saved me that night. And this guy that she's with is a guy named Axton Schindler.
What a mouthful.
Axton Schindler.
Okay.
And so police are like, okay, cool. Can you come down and let's chat with you? Mm-hmm. And they bring Axton in to see if he knows any more about what's going on. And he refuses to talk. And he refuses to even acknowledge what Veronica is saying. He's like, yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. And so officers were like, they didn't know if he was trying to avoid getting busted for
being with her.
Yeah, they really weren't sure his hesitation. But so Regina makes a copy of his driver's license anyway, right? Because I've talked to him. So he's somebody that they were looking at. Mm-hmm. And she notes that he lives on 1035 El Dorado Avenue in the Oak Cliff area of Dallas. Okay. So Regina looks up the address and compares to where Mary's body was found and Axton's address, and they're 9 miles apart. Oh. So that put a hole in Veronica's story, because she said, I ran to this guy's house for help, apparently. Right?
Yeah.
So there's no way that Veronica ran strung out 9 miles to this guy's house.
That'd be a long... That'd be a tale.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Okay, so we're still in March 1991, and our homicide detective, McNear, receives another call for yet another young woman that's been found. Yes. So as McNear arrives on scene, he notes that this scene is similar to Mary and Susan. Mm-hmm. And she's not displayed like the other two, but she's, nude from the bottom down, shirt pulled up, dumped in a residential area. And they immediately open her eyeball, and see that they're missing. So they're like, okay, we know that we're dealing with the same person. But she wasn't
posed like the rest
She wasn't posed spread out like the others were.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, clearly, hands down, we're dealing with a serial killer. Mm-hmm. So our third victim was identified as Shirley Williams. She was 37. She was a housekeeper at a local hotel in Oak Cliff. And she also was married and had a daughter.
So she was not a sex worker.
She was a sex worker.
Oh, she was a sex worker.
She was. Her family had no idea that she had started working the streets to help make ends meet. Yeah, they had no idea.
That is so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. So Shirley's body is taken to the medical examiner, and the difference between her and the other two is, well, we can see he's gotten progressive, right?
Yeah.
Like he shot one bullet into our first victim, he shot several into our second victim, and now this girl has been beat to shit.
Oh no.
Just completely beat up. And which tells me that this girl fought hard.
Oh yeah, she was
hard.
Yeah,
yeah.
He was pissed.
He was pissed.
Did he shoot her? Or just shots?
Yes. Okay. Yes, he did shoot her, and he also.
Sorry. Am I jumping ahead?
No. You're fine. You're fine. He did shoot her, and he also stabbed her a couple of times.
Dang.
Yeah, he was angry.
He was. Yeah,
he was angry. So. She's at the medical examiner's office. They're notating all the bruising on her and all the little cuts to her face. But when they're looking at inside her eye sockets, they're like, whoa, this is not the surgical precision that the other two had.
Oh.
Which makes them feel like, because she was fighting back, right?
He was in a rush.
He was in a rush and just apparently just ripped those suckers out of there.
I don't like that sound you made.
Oh, my bad.
Wow.
Sorry.
Ow.
And so, yeah, they're like, this is a rush job because the last thing a killer wants to be caught with is the dead body.
Or eyeballs on them.
Oh, right. So, right. They feel like this was a very, very rushed job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she was probably fighting hard, screaming loud.
Yep.
Trying to get all the attention she could. That's so sad.
Yeah.
But
and you know what? Good for her because she's going to give us our first evidence.
And it always happens like that.
So the examiner is like looking at her face and, you know, all the little cuts that she's got. And they notice something is wedged in one of the little cuts. And so as they like start, you know, digging into the little cut on her cheek, they pull out a small triangular piece of metal. And they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And upon further looking, it's a broken off piece from an X-Acto knife.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. So,
ow.
Yeah, right. So that's what he was stabbing her with.
Ugh.
So now this kind of takes away from their profile the part that they believe that this is probably a physician of some kind, right?
Yeah.
Because they would be using more sophisticated tools.
Scalpels.
Yeah, all the things. Like not somebody that just went and picked this up at the local hardware store or anywhere.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, this sucks because now it opens up like somebody that just knows about anatomy and somebody that's going to have an X-Acto knife. So like anyone. Well, I mean, not anyone, but you know what I mean? Like it opens the door for a lot more people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So like I said, we get our first bit of evidence from her, but still, again, no suspect.
Yeah.
So a few days go by. And a sex worker named Brenda White wants to talk to John and Regina. She's like, I got to tell you I got attacked the other night. I want to let you know what happened. So she was on a trick with this guy and she says, I want you to take me here. We're going to do this down here. And he goes, no, I have a place. And she's like, no. She says, you can just let me out right here.
Good for her. And she's like, this ain't my first rodeo.
Right.
Buddy, he ain't taking me.
Right. So when she says, you can just let me out, he turns to her and starts screaming at her and says, I hate you hoes. I'm going to kill all you hoes. Yep. But our girl Brenda from the streets is smart. And when he started having his little fit, she went into her bag, pulled out mace and hit that sucker in the face and just rolled out while the car was still moving.
Nice.
And took off.
She's like, not today, sir.
She's like, absolutely
not today, you crazy. Oh my gosh.
So good
for her.
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah. So Regina's like, can you tell me what this nasty ass looked like?
Yeah.
And Brenda's like, hell yeah, I can.
Oh, nice.
So, okay. So she said he was an older white male with salt and pepper hair, a muscular build, and he looked Mexican. Okay. But what she meant by him looking Mexican was that he was olive complected.
Okay. So just darker skin.
Yes. So I would just want to note that Megan and I don't talk about race. We don't ever bring it up.
Yeah.
In
I do not think it matters whatsoever.
Right. Because evil comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So we don't bring up race. And if you want to look it up when you're hearing one of our stories, that's totally on you, but we don't bring it up. But I bring it up in this because it's important as to how they got him.
Yeah. His description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So actually this is
and
good.
That was soapbox corner.
So, okay. This eliminated Axton Schindler because he was a young guy.
Oh, I forgot about old Axton.
Yes. So that it eliminates him.
Okay.
He's a younger guy and does not have salt and pepper hair.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So there's new technology that's recently out, and it allows officers to easily search databases for information on people that have been booked in the jail. So almost like a Tinder for perps or something.
I forgot what it's called. Or do you have it in there?
No,
what
I
it's
don't.
called?
They didn't tell me what it was called. They just said that it was a new thing that they had.
Yeah.
So Regina's like, you know what? I want to go down to the constable's office and I want to use this Tinder for perps and see what I can find. Like, see if we get any hits on anything that matches this description.
Yeah.
So John and Regina, they go down and they start plugging in the addresses to the people that they've spoken to. Mm-hmm. So they get to 1035 Eldorado Avenue, which was Axton's address. And it comes back to belonging to a guy named Frederick Albright. So they're like, okay, who's this dude?
Yeah.
So they pull up the tax records and they see that Frederick Albright owned property in Oak Cliff and also 9 miles away in Cotton Valley. So remember, Mary and Susan
that's where our first
and Shirley were all working in the Oak Cliff area. Mary and Susan were found in Cotton Valley. And Shirley, I don't think I said this earlier, but she was actually found in Oak Cliff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But it makes... So remember Veronica's story too.
Yeah.
That they're saying she was 9 miles away.
Yeah.
So maybe the sex crime was actually happening in the Oak Cliff area.
Yeah.
And that's how she was able to run to Axton's house.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. Lots of details, lots of things to keep up with.
We need like a map.
I know we do. So as they're looking at tax records and everything, John's like, wait a second. Fred died. Fred's dead. So who's owns these homes? And one of the constables that was there said, you know what? That Albright name sounds familiar. And he said, I took a call from a girl a while back that she called to report abuse from her ex-boyfriend. He had become increasingly violent toward her. And this man was Charles Albright. Mm-hmm. She said he had a fascination with her eyes and a insane collection of X-Acto knives.
Eyeballs.
The X-Acto knives.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't hard to piece together that Charles Albright was Frederick Albright's son.
Yeah, I bet when they were hearing this information, those investigators were just like, ding, 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 ding.
Yes. So they find that Charles Albright has some records floating out there. Mm-hmm. And so what did they find with the records? A mugshot. And guess what? He was a white dude with salt and pepper hair, olive complected skin, and a muscular build. Mm-hmm. Wow. And they're like, bingo.
Yeah.
Let's go get this monster. So John and Regina, remember, they're rookie cops.
Yeah.
Okay. But they take this information to McNear, and they're like, hey, this is what we found. Do you think there's any weight to this? And they were really kind of concerned that they would be taken seriously because they're rookie cops.
Yeah.
And McNear's like, no, you're onto something.
Yeah.
Like, let's hit the streets.
Yeah.
And so they put together a profile of similar looking men, right? And they want to take it to Veronica and Brenda to see if they can ID Charles Albright.
Yeah.
Yes. So in all this, I want you to know that John and Regina find out that Charles Albright's current employment is he delivers newspapers, which puts him in the field early in the wee hours of the morning when our girls are working the streets. Okay.
Bingo.
Yes. So now he's got the job that allows him to be out at weird hours of the night.
Yes.
So they take their profile of men and they take it to Veronica and Brenda, and they both immediately ID Charles Albright as their attacker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, McNear's like, all right, we're putting together a task force. We're going in to get him. So it's 2 a.m. Officers John and Regina are on site with McNear, 2 FBI agents, and 8 SWAT officers to take Charles Albright into custody. So when the team is given the green light, the SWAT team throws in flashbangs into the windows and they storm the house.
Man.
They enter the home. They take Charles and his poor girlfriend, Dixie, into custody.
Uh-oh.
The two offered no resistance. They're taken outside and immediately split up for questioning.
Yeah.
And poor Dixie was like completely traumatized.
Oh, no.
And so Regina walks over and she classic 90s, she hands her a cigarette to help calm her down.
There you go, girl.
And she offers her sympathy. She's like, girl, I know that we just put you through some hell.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that. But your boyfriend is bad.
You're dating a freaking monster.
Yeah. And so she says,
you'll thank us in a little bit.
Right. So Regina turned around and there's Charles Albright in handcuffs. And the only thing he has on is bright red bikini underwear. Of course.
What in the world?
I know.
How embarrassing.
I was like, I will never sleep in the nude. Not because I'm doing anything shady that would allow that SWAT would be coming in. You
never know what's going to freaking happen.
You never know. So if I'm having to flee my house in the middle of the night, I don't need boobs and booty on everybody's Ring doorbell camera.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
There goes Ashley.
Yeah, not happening.
Streaking down the road.
Not happening. So they walk Charles Albright over to Regina and they're like, is this the guy? And she goes, that's him. And
yes, that is him in those red underwear.
Yeah. So the SWAT guy calls over to John and he said, you deserve this. And he handed Albright over to John and he escorted him to the squad car and put him in. Yeah. John said it was like a real emotional thing.
Yeah.
Because they got this guy off the streets, right? Like this is who they've been hunting and trying so hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was really emotional for him. So then when they take Albright in for questioning, he's, of course, denies everything. He's never been with a sex worker.
Oh, yeah.
He's never committed these crimes.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool. But we're going to stick you in a cell while we investigate.
I don't even like eyeballs.
Yeah. What? How disgusting. So investigators are like, okay, now they're going through Albright's house.
Yeah.
And they said it is messy.
Ugh.
Messy, just junk and crap.
I feel like
everywhere.
It's either one extreme or the other.
Yeah, they're either clean freaks or
OCD clean freak, or they're just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
stuff everywhere.
Yeah, people. Exactly. So they're looking for, of course, hair, fibers, anything that may have belonged to the girls, eyeballs, X-Acto knives. They're looking for everything. Okay. They comb through the contents of the vacuum cleaner bag, trying to get evidence. And investigators found, of course, books on serial killers.
Oh, I was about to say eyeballs.
Serial killers. And they found newspaper clippings of the girls' murders. Okay. And we all know how they love to stay close to the investigation.
They do. They be monitoring that.
Yes. Okay. They also find hundreds of photos of women's eyes.
God, how freaking creepy.
Yes. And these weren't women that had given consent to having their eyes taken, pictures of their eyes taken. These were like, he was creeping on women. So these were pictures of women walking their dogs or in the mall or something like that. They weren't.
Were they close up eye pictures?
I assume so. Like they didn't show.
Is he running up to them with a camera and just putting it right there? Yeah. click, right there and runs off. I'd be like, what
I don't know. I don't know. Cause they would have had Zoom, so they could have zoomed in, but
true.
Yeah.
But we're in the 90s. So it's not like I don't think it'd be phones then.
No. It would have been an actual legit camera.
Yeah. With a bright flash.
Yeah. So how creepy is that?
That's really creepy.
Yeah. So they also found a trap door in the fireplace that housed all of Charles' guns. And I haven't covered this part yet. I'm going to get to it. But he was a convicted felon. So he shouldn't have been in possession of any weapons at all. So
a trapped door in the fireplace.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I know. And guess what they find all over the house? Not eyeballs, but X-Acto knives.
Yeah.
Freaking everywhere. They showed a picture of it and it was just like piles of X-Acto knives.
Weird.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Charles.
Okay.
So Charles was born in 1933 during the Great Depression.
Okay.
His biological parents immediately gave him up for adoption because they couldn't afford a baby.
Yeah.
So he was only in foster care for a few weeks and then he was adopted by Fred and Dell Albright. Okay. They were a very nice middle-class couple and who just couldn't have children of their own. So they went, it was noted that Dell, his mother, was kind of like a helicopter mom. She was very controlling and like, this is the one and only child she thought she would never have. So I guess I can see her being like overprotective
me too.
And whatnot. But Charles growing up was normal. He was well liked in school. He was a straight A student. Yes. And then one day his mother was like, Charles, I think you need a hobby. And he was like, cool, Mom, what do you want to do? What do you think we should do? And she's like, yeah, you know what I think would be cool? Taxidermy.
What?
Yeah. It's not learning an instrument, not playing a sport or art or singing or anything like that. Taxidermy.
I mean...
No, Megan. No.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but I don't know. Well, okay. And the reason I say this is because I have a girlfriend who's a taxidermist.
Okay.
And I think it's rad. I think that's really cool. And, sometimes
but she's not an 8-year-old taxidermist.
No. So that's what I was getting to. And sometimes I'd be scrolling through TikTok and there's taxidermy TikTok.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool to watch. It's interesting.
Well, now
but I'm very morbid. So,
yeah.
But no, a child. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Anywho, so in Dell's defense, she liked taxidermy. She had liked it or thought it was a cool hobby. So that's how that came about.
Unfortunately, she's telling a future psychopath that taxidermy is a good hobby.
Yes.
So that's unfortunate for her.
So she enrolls Charles into some courses.
He's how old? 8?
He's around 8. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she enrolls him into some courses. And then once he's, graduated taxidermy class, he starts popping off squirrels and birds and raccoons and, starts stuffing them.
Okay.
So when he needed more supplies for his little critters, she would take him down to the taxidermy store. And the only thing she would never let him have were the beautiful marble eyes that went into his little taxidermied animals. So instead, because they were very expensive.
I was about to say, those were probably really expensive.
They were very expensive. So instead, she showed Charles how to sew black buttons where the eyes would go.
That's creepy as hell. Seeing a little stuffed squirrel with black buttons for its eyes.
Okay, but now we see the weird fetish for eyes, though, right?
So weird what a crazy person's brain will form out of things.
Yeah. So we're going to fast forward to he's in his late teens.
Okay.
And he's starting to burglarize homes.
Oh.
Okay. He's eventually caught. He's sentenced to 1 year in jail, but only served 6 months before being released. So after this, Charles goes to college in Arkansas, and he's looking for a teaching degree.
Okay.
So while in college, he kept up with the petty thievery, and he also loved to play pranks. So let me tell you about one of these pranks that he loved to play.
I'm going to tell you right now, nothing pisses me off more than a grown, pretty much man playing a prank on somebody.
Okay. So his roommate in college was dating a girl. And at some point, him and this girl break up, and the roommate starts dating a new girl. And so we're going to be in like the 50s now. Okay. So when you had a picture and that, like, it was something you had to go take to be developed, right? So replacing, it's not like as easy as like deleting all of our exes.
Pictures were pretty precious back in the day. Yeah.
So as the, guy's dating this new girlfriend, he's replacing the photos that he has of her, the ex-girlfriend in their dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Charles takes all the pictures of the ex-girlfriend, cuts all the eyes out, and then pasted them over the new girlfriend's eyes in the photos. Yeah, that's his prank. That's his prank.
What? I bet his roommate was like,
literally,
what?
WTF. Like, it's not even funny.
No, that's not funny. That's extremely alarming.
Yes. So Charles' petty thievery eventually gets him kicked out of college, and he moves back home to the Oak Cliff area in Dallas. He actually meets and marries a girl, and they have a daughter.
Oh.
Yes, but the marriage is short-lived, and Charles was back on his own, still thieving and just being trash.
Yeah.
So remember, Charles wasn't able to finish his teaching degree because he was kicked out, but he fakes his degree. He fakes his diploma.
Oh.
In hopes of getting a teaching job. And it worked.
Of course it did.
It worked. But so he's hired on at a school in Dallas as a biology teacher. But his days of teaching were short-lived because they figured out Charles had forged a diploma. And he actually served jail time again for this. It didn't say how long, but he actually went back to jail for this forgery.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we see something happen.
And that was what year or around what year?
This would have been in the 50s.
Probably late 50s.
Yeah, it doesn't, it didn't give me dates. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I mean, he was committing these in the 90s when he was in his late 50s.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we see something happen in Charles' life. Probably his first devastating blow.
Yeah.
And it's his mom just literally fell over and died in their kitchen while she was cooking dinner. So this is a devastating loss. He was very close to his mother. They had hobbies like taxidermy. They were well bonded. So when his mother passes, Charles is like, okay, I'm going to move in with my dad and help take care of him. So he does. And again, so this is his childhood home that he's moved back into. And he immediately is well loved by his neighbors. He starts going to church with his dad, and he's well liked in the church, and people just love Charles. Okay. All right. Now, this is the one and only time that's noted that this happens. And thank goodness. I hope it didn't happen again. But we see Charles really reach out and do something terrible. So because Charles was so well liked and so trusted in the community, he was able to get close to a 9-year-old little girl. And I know. And then one day he eventually corners her and sexually assaults her.
But
I know. I'm really about to piss you off, though.
Oh, no.
He was found guilty of the assault. But would you like to guess, take a little stab at what his sentencing was? So remember, he was sentenced to a year for robbery and served 6 months, and then an undisclosed amount of time for the forgery.
I can't even guess.
Well, let me tell you, Megan.
Okay. It's probably going to really freaking piss me off.
Right. He got 10 months probation and counseling.
No jail time.
Rob someone's house, go to jail. Sexually assault a 9-year-old little girl, and you get a probation officer and a therapist. Tell me how that freaking works.
And this was the 90s.
This was,
in the 90s.
Yeah. Tell me how that works. Like, it just puts no value on this little girl. Either.
No,
like,
and this comes up in my case as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This is going to be a good, I'm going to be nice and pissed off by the time I get home later.
So this brings you up to speed on how awful Charles is.
Yeah.
And his background. Okay, so let me take you back now. We're going to go back to Charles' house where they're investigating. We've got X-Acto knives, hundreds of pictures of women's eyes, books on serial killers, illegal guns, all the things.
Yeah.
But what the detectives are on the hunt for was the eyeballs.
Where are them eyeballs?
Where are the eyeballs? But then one of the investigators finds something that may give them like a really good lead. And it is a receipt to a storage building that is not far from Charles's house. So they head out. They're like, all right, let's go dive into the storage building.
That would be fun.
Well,
Oh.
wait. So they open up the storage building, and it is stacked full of taxidermied animals, piles of
With
black
button knobbles.
piles of black buttons, and stacks upon stacks of jars of animals and formaldehyde. And they're like, our eyeballs are going to be in here.
They're in here somewhere.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they never find the eyeballs.
Man, what a
So
storage.
I'm just gonna-
Okay, so
I'm
the
just gonna let you
eyeballs
know.
weren't in there?
They couldn't find them.
They had to comb through the storage shed
And
from
all
hell.
her mouth, for all the jars. Yep, those.
Mm.
Yeah, full of all the little critters. Yeah. So they found nothing.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah, except for this horror, like a
Yeah.
storage building of death, unfortunately. Yes. So, but they're like, okay, this guy's into taxidermy, so he knows how to scoop out little eyeballs with surgical precision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, all we have is circumstantial evidence, right? We don't have anything concrete. So they're like, detectives are like, we need more evidence. And so they all hit the streets again really hard.
Yeah.
So now, though, that Charles Albright is in custody, our little night community starts singing like little canaries about all the things that they know.
Yeah, because he can't.
Right.
He's
So
not
they
on the
were
streets
afraid
anymore.
to speak.
Yeah.
And now they're not. So what they gather is that Charles entertained our sex workers at least 3 to 5 times a week.
Damn.
Yeah. A week.
Wow.
So he was a regular, but
Yeah.
they said, remember, that he was going to be somebody that was well known in the community
Yeah.
and trusted. So if he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
visiting
yeah.
this often, they knew the girls knew who he was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but detectives still need more than what they're getting off the street. So a sex worker named Tina Connolly said the last time she saw Shirley, our last victim, was the night that she disappeared. And Tina and Shirley were like best friends on the streets.
Okay.
And when Tina saw Charles coming, she's like, yeah, I'm out on this one. But it was kind of like a rainy night, and Tina gives Shirley her yellow raincoat for the evening.
Okay.
And so Tina tells them that when she used to go on dates with Charles Albright, that they would go to this field. And so she tells them the location of the field. And there, Regina and John find a pile of debris. And in the debris is this yellow raincoat.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, maybe there's some evidence on it, though.
Yeah.
So I don't think I said this earlier, but the medical examiner found, this is so gross. They found 2 hairs in Shirley's palm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's evidence, but we didn't have anybody to connect it with at the time.
Okay.
They also found a pubic hair on her neck.
Oh,
I know,
so gross.
So they're like, okay, well, maybe we can find more evidence on this raincoat because they can see it's covered in blood,
Yeah.
but it's also been out in the elements.
Right.
So they're like, okay, oh my gosh, let's see if we can find anything. But Megan,
Oh, God.
no. Get this. They find a hair on the coat that's still there.
Uh-huh.
The hair is from a squirrel tail. Okay.
Okay.
Guess what they find in Charles Albright's vacuum cleaner? Squirrel hair that matched this squirrel hair.
Up this particular squirrel.
Shirley is going to be saved by a squirrel. So, yeah, it matched the squirrel tail hair. And so they also, the hair that was in her palm and the pubic hair on her neck also matched to Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And they also found Shirley's hair in the vacuum cleaner bag as well.
Oh.
So this man was like busted by 3 hair, like 3 different types of hair.
Yeah.
But it's wild to me that
including a squirrel.
Squirrel hair.
That's funny.
Like, what on earth? Like,
It's funny because
gosh.
in any other case it'd be a squirrel.
Yeah, right.
But in this case it's like, oh.
Yeah. So, okay. So they're like, okay, now we have enough to convict Charles. Right?
Yeah.
We've got him. But what sucks is they didn't get anything off of Mary or Susan.
Yeah.
So he wasn't charged for those murders.
Yeah.
But he was charged with Shirley's, and it was enough to land him life in prison without the possibility of parole. And he actually just died recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like within the last 4 or 5 years, he just died in prison. So that's Charles Albright.
Man.
And so let me tell you, I'm going to end this with a quote from John Matthews, our rookie officer that was so instrumental in getting this guy caught.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm often asked, how do you know that you got the right guy? And he said, my answer is always very simple, because no more women died.
I mean, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was the monster that is the eyeball killer.
The eyeball killer.
Charles Albright. Yes. Isn't that wild?
Whoa.
I know. Out of all
For
the things.
some reason, I was thinking eyeball killer. I just thought he was doing something weird to their eye, like not taking the whole freaking eyeball out.
Well, so here I'm like when I was researching this, I'm like thinking, I'm like as he's digging into somebody's eye sockets or something. I know it made me cringe to think about like him, Yeah.
I know. It makes you want to make weird sounds with your mouth. Oh,
yes.
Gross.
I know.
Well, that was a good case.
Thank you. I really thought it was going to be really short again, because he was caught so quickly, within months.
Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God. Because he was
idiot.
clearly going to keep going, and it was escalating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerk.
Gross.
I know.
Well, I still think taxidermy is pretty cool. So
don't teach my nieces, please.
No, I won't. They'll teach themselves, the little weirdos.
Oh my gosh, your youngest is going to be horrified. She will never learn that one.
I know.
She'll
I
never
blew
learn
her
that
mind
dread.
the other day because my youngest is really obsessed with bugs. And I blew her mind the other day because I told her that people make a living studying bugs. You can you can make a career out of that. And she was just mind.
I would love it.
Yes.
I would love it.
Coming to I don't know, lab near you. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Like, subscribe,
back.
and share.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and share.
It really is hard to
It
get
is
out.
so hard to say,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. But okay, we'll see you next Friday. What are we doing? When is this coming out?
This is not coming out till after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this is coming out after. Well, Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, and we release on Fridays.
Oh, so it is coming out.
We haven't decided.
We don't know what we're doing. We have no idea what we're doing.
I don't know when this is coming out, but come back the next Friday. And we will see you next time. Oh, like, subscribe, share, follow us on all of our socials, please. And thank you so much for all the comments, and keep commenting, liking, and subscribing, and sharing and all of the fun stuff. It really, really helps us out. So keep doing it, and keep your roots deep
And your head on a swivel.
Bye.